Okay, it's working.
Yep.
Yes, and then we're talking golf. Yeah.
Jordan, nice to meet you. Hi. Yeah.
Derek. So nice to meet you.
Jordan's your company.
Welcome to the JDC West 2017 not-for-profit case presentation sponsored by the Alberta School of Business. Thank you to our judges, Chris Hung from Edmonton, Ryan Dewey from Association of Fundraising Professionals Edmonton Area Chapter, Adam Jackson from Association of Fundraising Professionals Edmonton Area Chapter, Gina Jackson from Toronto
to these startups to help decrease this failure rate. However, right now, your organization is lacking this funding in order to help support these startups. And without this, you're not going to be helping as many entrepreneurs as possible. My name is Jordan, this is Derek, and this is Jordan, and we are Jordan & Co. And we are here to help your organization develop a plan that you can use in order to help continuing to help as many entrepreneurs and startups as possible become as successful as possible in the future. Today, after looking at your organization, we have discovered that the main problem that your organization is facing is how can tech networks secure funding to transform into a viable entity and grow from its current base.
So we have conducted an analysis of your organization. First, I want to look internally. The key points to note is first, that you already have a strong startup incubator framework established. You are in 4 different cities. You're in Vancouver, you're in Calgary, you're in Winnipeg, and you are, what's the 4th one? Saskatoon. So you already have these 4 different cities established, and you're already helping 4 different startups in each of these locations. It's also important to note that you have a strong backing from the University of Canada. They are providing you not only financial support, but also a diverse amount of resources in consulting, financial, and legal aids. Looking at some weaknesses of your organization, you do have this lack of sustainable funding. So for this tech network project, you have $100,000 left. If you don't find more funding, your organization will cease to exist. So this is a huge issue that we need to address moving forward. You're also not operating at capacity. In all 4 of these locations, you have the capacity to help 5 different startups. In total, this is 20 startups that you could be helping, but right now you're only helping 4. We need to help you expand so that you can help the most amount of entrepreneurs and startups possible. Looking externally into the industry, the first thing that is important to note is that you have an opportunity to build industry networks. You're operating in diverse fields, in agriculture, in tech, in mining, in oil and gas. And there's a lot of support within these industries to help startups and to help developing technology. A risk that we have identified, as Jordan mentioned, historically 80% of all new businesses fail within the first 18 months. This is not conducive to successful innovation within the tech and the startup world. We've also looked at some of your key stakeholders, so the people that have an increased investment within your organization. The first is entrepreneurs. They want the resources that you have. They want support. They want guidance. That's why they're coming to your organization, to seek the resources that you have. Second is the University of Canada. They're investing in this project. They want to see success. They want to see success immediately, and they want to see success in the long term, ensuring that these startups aren't failing. We want to make sure that the startups that you're helping are not a statistic. We don't want them to be a part of that 80% that fail within the first 18 months. Finally, the donors. If they're investing in your organization and the projects that you're taking on, they want to see some bang for their buck. They want to see results, and they want to see the direct impact that their money is creating.
So, when evaluating a few different plans, we established some criteria that we believe are extremely important to your organization. The first, maximum entrepreneurial support. Of course, at the end of the day, why is your organization here? To support these entrepreneurs. We want to make sure that you're helping the most amount. So at the top we have the criteria. Below that is how we'll be measuring this criteria. Of course, the number of successful, sustainable startups. Secondly, securing a long-term funding plan. As was previously mentioned, your organization only has $100,000 left. Time is running out. So we need to ensure that whatever plan we choose is going to provide you with sustainable funding in the long term. And again, that's measured by sustainable annual revenue. And then third, long-term startup success. We want to ensure these startups are not just here for 18, 24, even 36 months. We want to make sure these startups are growing into long-term business that will be around for decades to come. And again, we're looking at success and sustainability beyond 36 months for each startup. So, when we were thinking about alternatives, the first thing that came to our mind, bake sale. Great idea, right? We tried it, didn't really work, we made $100. We think we can do a little bit better for your organization. So we have 4 different plans to present to you today. The first is dipping into that university endowment. The university has approximately $60 million in endowment. They have some priorities there, but you could petition the university to reallocate some of that endowment to better support your organization. Secondly, government grants. There are some government granting opportunities available that could provide your organization with funding. Third, a corporate push. Getting out there in the community, trying to build relationships, acquire sponsorship from some of these local tech businesses or businesses from all across Canada. And then fourth, angel investors. Jillian had mentioned that there is an opportunity for angel investors to come in to invest in your organization. And yeah, they can provide you with the necessary funds to continue your growth. So taking a look at a little bit of an evaluation, we weighed the pros against the cons for all of these plans. First of all, endowment, as you can clearly see, the negatives outweigh the positives. It doesn't really support necessarily a long-term strategy. It doesn't build any industry relationships, no partners within industries. And then third as well, it would require a large percentage of the university's endowment. We estimated 10 to 15% of the endowment interest actually would be required to fund that, and that is a very, very high ask for the university. One of the pluses is endowment is a very sustainable option. It pays out year after year. Second option, government grants. As you can see here, they are extremely competitive. There's so many organizations vying for these grants. The average grant approval rate is between 10 and 15%. We don't really like those numbers. It's time intensive as well. Organizations are out there have hire professional grant writers. It's very, very competitive to produce these grant applications. And as well, if you're just relying on the government, you're completely ignoring all of these businesses, this network around you, all of these business communities to help support you. And then as well, government grants are simply just a one-time offering, which isn't going to provide us with the sustainability necessary. Moving on, corporate push. We determined this was an okay idea. Unfortunately, corporations are very dependent on the economy, and we need to make sure that your organization is sustainable and not necessarily susceptible to economic conditions. Again, it's very, very time intensive. Building corporate relationships can take years. You don't have years. You need the money now, as soon as possible. One plus that we did identify is it does create some lasting relationships into the industry. And then moving forward, angel investors. Taking a look at this, as you can see, the pros definitely outweigh the cons here. Allow you to build excellent industry networks as well. You'll have a quick cash influx, and you'll be able to provide your startups with some mentorship through these angel investors. It is a little bit more of a human-intensive operation, but we believe that you have the resources. So we prepared this evaluation table, but I hope the answer is obvious to you at this point. Angel investors are clearly the way to go going forward. So we'd like to present to you our plan, Tech Network Angel Mentorship. So our plan is going to combine angel investors with mentorship to ensure your organization can grow in the future. But first, we talked a little bit about your organization strategy, and we felt the need to define this strategy in a purpose statement. We believe that your organization is here to help build small and medium-sized enterprises by providing a support system and other resources to entrepreneurs. We believe that this statement provides an excellent guide for your business strategy going forward. So, to review our plan, we're going to be taking you through 4 steps. First of all, looking at how we are going to innovate Tech Network as a company, maybe restructure things a little bit, reorganize. Then we'll take a look at some authentic angel investors who are going to be providing the majority of the funding for your business. As well, they are going to be the basis of our Empowerment Mentorship Program, which we will introduce to you shortly. We'll talk a little bit about long-term growth and sustainability of your organization.
So looking at the first part and how the organization design should look like. As Roy mentioned before, you have a great startup incubator plan already conducted. What we advise you doing is adding 1 more associate. So right now, you have 3 associates, and Jillian, you kind of move from place to place, and what we advise is 1 associate for each city. That way there's a point of contact in each city in case something comes up and one of the startups need to directly talk to an individual as opposed to over the phone. As for the remaining decentralized, we think that your organization
already have great relationships with. So we want you to focus on business faculties and engineering faculties, as we believe that these are incubators in and of themselves for great ideas and for innovation. So we want to make sure that these startups are aware of the criteria. They will be providing equity of their company in order to receive the funding and the mentorship that these industry partners will provide. There will be an application process. So these startups will apply to be a part of your Tech Network Mentorship Program, the Angel Mentorship Program, and they will ensure that they're understanding the criteria, the expectations, and really know what they're getting themselves into. Then your network, the Tech Network, will decide who should be a part of this program. Looking at the angels who will also be matched with these startups, a lot of this advertising is going to come from word of mouth. So using these personal connections, looking at Jillian's connections, looking at Chamber of Commerce, people who have sway and who have influence in the industries and can actually make a sizable investment in these startups. But the thing that is important to note is that these angel investors are not just giving $100,000 and then walking away with 10% equity. They're also investing their time, their resources, their connections, their business acumen, their expertise. It's a complete, conducive process to a long-term, successful relationship. Looking at the actual matching of these startups with these industry mentors, you will first collect all of the startups who are interested in being a part of this program. They will then give a pitch to the potential angel. What we're looking to connect is people with similar interests. So for example, if a startup creates technology that deals with food exploration, this is something that grocery industries will be interested in, farming industries will be related in, health and food safety industries may be interested in, and will then take these two parties and actually match them based on their alignment of interests.
So, once you have these organizations or these startups into your organization, we propose a 36-month incubator plan. We chose 36 months because this is sort of twice that 18-month survival rate that was quoted, and we believe in 36 months, your organization can build fantastic startups that will become independent. So in this period, we're going to stress a lot of goal setting. Within that 3-year period, they're going to need to make sure they hit specific milestones regarding revenues, marketing, customer acquisition, those type of things. And of course, in this period, they're going to be using their mentor, their angel mentor, as we like to call them, to build industry connections. And these are going to really start to build an awesome network for these startups, again, to help them become independent of the UOC. They're going to receive informal business training, just again, through this mentorship. And like I said, they are going to become independent after this 36-month period. Also, there needs to be some performance measures. We need to make sure we hold these startups accountable to make sure that they're not just really getting a free ride through this incubator program. They'll need to make sure they're in contact with their mentor, laying out their revenue models, marketing strategies, to make sure that they are 100% accountable, not only to your organization, but to the angel mentors.
So looking at the financials, we can see that in the first year, we anticipate your organization being able to gain 10 different startups as well as 10 different angel mentors. So this would be about $1 million of donations that can go towards your expenses that you are needing to fund right now. Within the second year, we anticipate you can grow to the full 20 capacity, and you will have then an extra $1 million there to help with the expenses in that year.
So let's walk you through our plan step by step, starting tomorrow morning. That is when you need to begin to reach out to some of these angel mentors. Again, using Jillian's connections, using some of the university staff connections. This is going to take a little bit of time, and our goal for our first intake is 10 angel investors. In February, that's next month, you're going to need to start up those marketing campaigns towards business students, towards engineering students, to let them know about this amazing program that you can offer them. Come March, we recommend that you start the first intake and conduct those investor pitches where these potential startups will come to pitch towards these angel investors. And then in April, we'll be able to launch this mentorship program officially with 10 startups. We would assume 6 additional. You already have 4 startups in your organization, so you'll have 10 mentors, 10 angels, and 10 startups. Looking 1 year from now, January 2018, we recommend that you replicate the process, do another intake to get the additional 10 startups and 10 angel investors. So you'll have the entire year to find 10 remaining angel mentors. And then in 1 year, you'll be able to be at 100% capacity for your current facilities, which is 20 startups. 2 years from now, if things are going very well, we recommend your organization to look into some expansion options. The first of which was increasing the square footage within each campus. They can expand from 2,000 up to 10,000 square feet if there is a lot of interest in the program. Another option is moving into other university campuses across Canada to really help broaden that reach. And then, January 2020, 36 months from now, the first intake group will be on their way out into the world to empower new beginnings. Taking you through a couple of risks and mitigation, plotting them on this chart, frequency and severity here. I'm going to talk about the one at the far right. What if your angel investors don't like the pitches? These are business students, engineering students who don't necessarily have these public speaking skills. Well then, we recommend that you sort of offer a program that works with these startups to train them on how to do a pitch, how to get investment if they do need it. And right in smack dab in the middle, what happens if mentorship falls apart? I've been a part of mentorship relationships in the past, and sometimes they just fizzle out, which is unfortunate. We hope this won't be a problem because of our matching program, but if it does, we recommend that you look to some of this university staff, professors who are industry experts who can provide similar mentorship to an investor.
So what has this plan done for your organization and for the entrepreneurships and startups in the city of Halifax? It's going to create an impact of helping over 20 startups within the next 2 years, and you will have enough money to fund these startups with the help of the angel investors. We'd like to thank you for your time, and we'd now like to open the floor to any questions.
So I'll start. You guys are onto something here. There are models, real models like this that actually exist. But one of the things you didn't address, so I'd like to do that, is taking $100,000 from an investor. Some of that would be used for program management to run the operation. Some will go to the startup. Did you model that out, and do you have some sense of the ratios?
Yes, so it is important to communicate to the investors that it is actually a donation in the program itself, in Tech Network, and then it will be based on your own organization to decide how much goes into the program and how much goes into the actual organization. But we believe that around 50% should be going towards the startup and 50% going towards the actual overarching program.
Just to add to that, so a $100,000 investment is fairly significant from one individual. There are other incubators out there. So we've only been at this game for 4 months. We don't really have a track record of success by any means. What's our competitive advantage? How do we convince them that they should be using this beyond just, I guess, the philanthropic feeling that you suggested?
Yeah, we think that the university's excellent staff are your best resource. You mentioned that these staff have decades of industry experience, 20, even 30 years. So they have built credibility in themselves, in the industry. So in turn, these investors are going to trust people they've worked with in the past, who they know, and will be much more likely to donate.
Can you talk a little bit more about why you kind of not ignored, but not put any additional effort into the corporate side of things? Why solely on the individual investors?
So one thing that we did identify with, say, a corporate push, like we talked about in our alternatives, is that it's often very time intensive and bureaucratic. There's a lot of levels that you have to get through sponsorship and other sort of donation efforts, and we don't think that you necessarily have the time to secure these funds. And we also don't believe that it'll have the lasting efforts of just writing a check for $100,000 and then walking away. Our program, or our implementation actually has the lasting relationship, and I believe Derek can actually elaborate further.
Yeah, and in addition to building these industry partners or these mentors, it's going to increase your awareness in the corporate communities, just by the very nature of the program. So with that, you might even find us in a position where corporate sponsorship does become an option, but we foresee that maybe as a more long-term option for the incubator.
I know this is supposed to be questions, but in fact, the successful ones have corporate sponsorship linked to them right away, because then you get a matching of real known demand to the innovation system. So then I'll turn that into a question. So what will you do about that?
That's definitely something that we can look at implementing